Hello, welcome to Steph's world, the world of love and light, and the world according to Steph. Hey, you never know what's gonna whip out of that mouth. And truth, and this is truth too. And frankly, I've done this a couple times and didn't like it, so I deleted it. If I don't feel that it's directed by, how do I put this, my divine director, my creator, then I'm not gonna put it out. Okay, that's how I feel. What I want to talk about is love. Love is extremely important to me, especially we're getting into the holidays right now. And so, lots of people are probably thinking about money and buying things and all that stuff. I hope they're thinking about love too. Now, I'm sure they are, okay? I mean, when we get things for our relatives, and like I told my mother who has Alzheimer's, that I saw a beautiful gift that she would love. Because you know why? I used to buy these for her all the time. And when she went into the nursing home, I stopped. Well, it wasn't just that. A lot of things had happened. My son passed away. And that, I didn't fall to pieces, but I sure did come close. I'm not going to kid about it. I came close. I had to move from where I live. I felt a desire to. I didn't have to do anything, but I felt a choice, a desire to move, so I did. And I needed a huge change in my life, and I always remembered that my son used to say to me, "Mom, you need to live in Savannah." And I know why he used to say that. Part of why would be, well, for one thing, it is beautiful down here. When the weather's good and the seasons are right, it's gorgeous. And then secondly, he knew that during the wintertime, my body hurts pretty badly. So he knew all that, and I think he was very concerned about his mother. That's what I think, okay? All right, now, we're in my special room right now, and this room is full of love and peacefulness and serenity. It's my very special room. I just love it. Oh, I have something else that I picked up. How do you like my new tennies? It's taken me a while to be able to wear these because I live in the South, and to be honest with you, wearing regular shoes is not something I've been doing for 2.5 years. I've been wearing thongs for 2.5 years, so it's been kind of different. Now, I want to talk about love in a lot of different ways. Um, I researched it a little bit. I didn't go into anything deep, believe me. What can you go into deep when it comes to love? The first thing I want to say is that everybody has their own feelings about love and has their own ideas of how they love someone, how they do it, what their boundaries are and what their ways of expressing that love is. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Now, I am not going to tell anyone that their way is bad or good or whatever. I'm not here to do that. But I am going to talk about love and how I, so far, how I kind of see it. Now, I feel like I'm still learning about love. I feel like I'm going to be learning about it for years and years and years and years. I think that the first 40 years of my life, yes, I loved my children. They were absolutely one of the most important people in my life. They really were. And I loved the rest of my family pretty deeply too. But my children were the deepest. Well, when I turned 40 years old, some things happened to me. I broke my lower back. And I had already had my neck broken. Many vertebrae had broken. And I suffered terribly from that. And I let it go. I didn't let the orthopedic people do anything with that. So it wasn't easy for me to live with that. It was hard. And so when I broke my lower back, it was like, oh boy, wow, 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 wow. And I was never the same after that. Never. You know, the doctors, they always say, well, you didn't break your spine, so you should be able to recover okay. No, I didn't recover okay. And I'm not going to mention names, but I am going to say that there are a lot of people at the pain doctor's place that I go to who also have broken their backs, and they have never been the same. So I hear the same thing from all of us. Well, the good news is, out of that ordeal, I started examining myself. I started looking at myself, because when I broke my back, I was horsing around. I was the wild thing. I was out having fun, and it was Labor Day weekend, and my kids were having fun too. I mean, I had taught my children how to party, believe me. And at least I thought I did. My son definitely, he partied with his religious friends, because he was very religious. And I'm not sure what my daughter was doing then, but they were both teenagers, and they were older teenagers. So, but anyway, that was brought on by my own carelessness and foolishness. That's how that happened. There's no question about it. I was not careful, and I was very foolish. And the very bottom, right below my spinal cord, there's a great big bone. And that bone went all the way through, broke all the way through, completely through. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I tried to make light of it, but that didn't work too well. So, 40 years old, so for the next 4 years, 5 years, I was gradually getting worse and worse and worse. And in 1997, I finally married a man that I truly did love with all my heart. There's that word, love. I loved him. I felt a connection with him, with my soul. And I wasn't a real spiritual woman at that point, but I felt a connection. And I think I'd always felt that connection. And we had been on and off for the last 5 years. So we definitely had a long-term relationship. Well, my daughter moved out, and she was my youngest, and when she moved out, I didn't have any children left at home anymore. And that did something to me. I had a great deal of trouble accepting my children being gone. My whole life changed. And you know, that's not unusual. That's kind of normal for that to happen. Well, anyway, because I don't want to make this a huge, long thing, okay? To be honest with you, even though I did love him, he had been out of my life for a while. He moved down to Florida, and I lived in the Midwest. And so we kind of split up for a while. Well, then he was calling me on the phone, and he was, I think, trying to get us back together again. Well, there were a lot of problems in our relationship, and they were not just back and forth mental or emotional problems. They were much, much more serious than that. And I was actually doing very well. I had made new friends, and I went to a school for metaphysics, and I had begun a new journey in life. I really had. Now, I still had my job and everything, but outside of that job, I started doing other things and learning new things. And so I learned a lot of things about myself. Some were good, and some were not so good. And I had to learn how to distinguish between the good and the not so good. And then I also had to learn how to push out the not so good and pull in the good. That's not as easy as it sounds, believe me. But I had to learn to do that. Well, I had some wonderful teachers. Oh my goodness. And I had one teacher, and she had told me when she started working with me, she said, "Now, are you ready to let go of everything you ever knew?" And I thought, what? What are you talking about? And I understood, but I thought, I really felt like I had done a lot of work for the last 5 years, you know, and